Okay, Uncle John is here, and I have not done a live broadcast on YouTube in a very long time. Today I have some help, but what we're going to do is basically, I watched a friend of mine do a reaction video on this one particular YouTuber, and the name of the video was called Male Loneliness, No One Cares. And it was pretty sad, but interesting at the same time. And my friend, who this is her third time will be on, is Amira the Exiled Lioness, and also from the Lapif Network. Hi, Amira. What's happening?
Hey, nice to see you again. It's been such a long time.
Yeah, it was like we were just saying. It was about 6 months ago, right, when you just started on the Lapif Network, and then
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels had used one of your comments as a topic on his broadcast. It was actually pretty interesting.
It was.
So, how you been doing otherwise?
Been well, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back. I know that your channel has been doing so well. I've been listening to your recorded content.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see you do actually live content. So I'm happy to be here, part of it.
Thank you. Yeah, if it wasn't for you, just so everybody knows, Mira just taught me how to do live and invite people on and so on and so forth. So it's relatively easy. I just never did it, and we're here doing it.
You got it.
So you did a reaction video, and it really saddens me because there's too many young guys. There's too many young guys out there that feel that way, and it never. It's very difficult for a young man to correct himself out of that scenario, and then what happens is he usually becomes a target of a manipulative woman, if you will. So why don't you explain what the video actually was?
Okay, I do a pardon for any background noise, guys. I do have the family having a dinner party downstairs, so I apologize in advance. So if you guys if you guys haven't seen what we're about to talk about, what we're about to see, it's a video of a young man speaking about the issues that he faces in today's society as a man coming into age. So he speaks about how men are almost invisible in this country, in the Western world, because men, well, for a very long time we've been living in a gynocracy. If you guys don't know what a gynocracy is, it is a world where women are held to a higher, almost on a pedestal over men. And this is what we have in the Western world. I'm Middle Eastern, so I see it a lot differently than a lot of Westerners do. And in my culture, per se, we put the men above the women. Every woman knows that she will not be equal to a man, and we accepting of it. We accept it because we know that men have a harder role to play. They have a lot more work to do than us. But here in the United States and in Britain and the whole Western world, it's the exact opposite. It's almost like a hyena society in the West, where in hyena society, it's a matriarchy and the women rule and the men are left to eat the scraps of the women. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. So this video that Mr. John is about to present to us is a clear representation of that, and it speaks. I believe that so many more men feel the way that this man feels, and I think it's invaluable that we all see and hear him, because they shouldn't be treated as invisible people unless they're rich or on the front of a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Let it rip. Okay,
Let's
there we
do
go.
it.
And
All right.
you will be in control of the video.
Sure, no problem. So here we go. Let's see. So just in case we get a little echo while the video is playing, I will mute my mic. And if the audience says that there's an echo, then Mr. John, you also mute yours too, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Film my normal repertoire of videos, and I kind of needed to rant about this, and I've tried to make this 4 or 5 times, so hopefully I can just get it out in one take here, because I really don't feel like doing any editing tonight. I've been feeling rather upset lately about my not being in a relationship. I'll go to like family parties, and basically my entire family's either engaged or getting married now. I see people having children. I see people making a lot more money than me and having much more success, and it's it's not like I need that necessarily, but I would like to have something going for my life. And I keep trying to do my own thing, but the fact that I can't keep a consistent source of social relationships going, and I did have that for a while, but then, you know, one person will get into a relationship, so I won't see them anymore. And
Really quickly, if you see the way this man's posture is, just look at his posture and look at how he speaks from a point of like, it's almost like he's just looking at everyone else live their lives, and he feels like he's just sitting there, just stuck, right?
Yeah,
that's what it looks like to me. What do you see?
Yeah, no, his everything about him you could see is he's hurting internally. His posture, the way he's speaking, his observations. You could see that there's severe depression going on. This is far too common with guys today. Especially young men and even older guys. And nobody addresses it. Not only does nobody address it, nobody even addresses why this is happening. Because if you address why this is happening, then you're talking about restructuring American society.
Well, no one cares about why. If
Yeah.
you even notice, men
Yeah.
don't even care to hear other men when they're speaking like this. A lot of them will just say, "Oh, he's a beta. He's, weak."
Yeah. Now, is he weak? I mean, yes and no, right? In my opinion, he is weak, but it's not his fault. I think Gen Z and millennials and Gen Z are weaker, but I think it's because of their upbringing that has made them weaker. You know, the further back you go in American generations, the harder and harder and harder of men were. You know, you go back to the World War II generation, and those guys were like hard as rocks.
Yeah.
You know, and then the more society becomes easier and becomes more of a matriarchy and so on and so forth, the men in every generation becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. And
first world problems, Uncle John.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's it. It is, but there's serious problems because, I mean.
Oh, let's not try to judge too fast. You want to hear him out a little bit more?
Yes. Go ahead.
All right. Sorry about the background noise again. I'm sorry. I'm gonna mute myself. Hold on a second.
Other couple people move away, and pretty soon my whole fucking group of friends that I can talk to on a regular basis is just fucking gone. So it's been making me need a relationship more and more. And I've been asked in the past about what I thought of MGTOW, and what MGTOW is men going their own way. It's what it stands for, and it's basically men who are opting out of relationships and opting out of traditional male responsibilities because of how the current laws are set up, and how traditional male responsibilities are just sacrificing. And then as soon as you're not useful to society and people anymore, you basically get cast out.
When you're not useful to society anymore, you get cast out.
And we see it in divorce. I mean, it is that statement is so obvious in the divorce rate today. It's unbelievable. I mean, see, there's all right. So there's a 50% divorce rate across the American country, right? It's every ethnic background and community is a little bit different, but across the board it's 50%. 80% is filed by women. If the women are college educated, it goes up to almost 90% that divorce is filed by. Okay?
Well, another thing, did you notice that the divorce rate also goes down as the income goes up?
Once you get to $250,000 a year as a household income, divorce rate drops to 20%.
Yep.
All right. So basically what's happening in society and in Western culture is women are being raised to go for their own. You don't need a man. You don't need a man to take care of you. You get your own, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. No man's going to take care of you. All this nonsense, all these things, and so on and so forth. Now, so these are how women are being raised. So when they want to have families, a lot of the times when men have served their purpose, meaning they got married, they have a home, they have children, and now the woman he's basically like just a side note at that point, right? And the ease in which women can get divorced and not get hurt financially, it becomes, I don't need you anymore. And no woman will ever admit that. They
Well, we're
basically,
seeing the bad effects of it, Uncle John. We're
that's
seeing the
right.
bad effects of it. And I'm sorry to say, this boy, I call him a boy because, he looks like,
He's
a
a
little
young
bit
man.
younger than me.
Mhm.
And this guy, it's almost like he's the baby. He's the baby, the product of
Right.
what this society has built. He's the product. And a lot of these people like him are not being presented to the world. Everyone just looks right past him and act like he doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's exactly what's happening, and that's what happened. That's what's happening to men in general, as a whole. And then I see this. I see this with divorce. I see it with family. I see it on a first-hand basis. I see it with friends, and I had looked up a little bit of stats, and we'll call it self-deletion, right? Because you can't call it what it really is on YouTube. You can't say it, right? You can't.
Oh, the YouTube overlords are listening.
Yeah, taking yourself out. Let's call it self-deletion. The highest percentage of people that self-delete themselves are over the age of 40, and 70% of them are men.
I didn't know that.
Yes, 70% of them are men. And it goes from over 65 years old is the highest rate. Over 40 to 64 is the second highest rate.
Grandpa's killing? I mean, sorry.
Yes, no,
Grandpa
it's the
is
truth.
self-deleting?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
that's right. And then 20 to 39, and then 15 to 19. Now, 15 to 19, the majority of reason is bullying. But once you get past that, the major reasons, obviously, it's depression. But what causes depression? The major reasons that people self-delete is legal issues, unemployment, and you guessed it, Amira, divorce or intimate partner problems.
Yeah.
So when you are a man who is 45 years old and your wife wants to divorce you, and then what happens is you have to give up about, this is a great stat, actually. This is a good one. So let's see. In a divorce, spousal maintenance, generally speaking, it's about a third of a man's salary. That's just spousal maintenance, not child support, right? If you're married for 20 years or more, there is no limit on how long you're going to be paying spousal maintenance. In the States,
so it's not really the divorce per se the reason why they're self-deleting and erasing themselves. It's because of the process after, because
Right.
not only are you heartbroken, but to add insult to injury,
Exactly.
now you're going to be taken to the cleaners by the court.
Exactly.
Do you want to continue a little bit?
Hold on. Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me finish this. And then, so then if you're married less than 20 years, spousal maintenance cannot be held for more than 50% of the length of time that you're married. So if you're married for 10 years, then spousal maintenance cannot be more than 5 years, right? So what happens is, and then 90% of women wind up with custody of their children.
Correct.
Okay. And then their house. Men usually lose their house when in the middle of a divorce. And the two major reasons if he loses the house is if he files, which almost never happens, or if she proves quote unquote bad behavior. Yeah, which is very vague. So
what does that mean? He's not a child. What do you mean bad behavior?
So if he tells her, if she says it was verbal abuse and all she has to do is prove that he said shut the fuck up, and that's verbal abuse, then that's enough for you to lose your house. So if you're over 40, you get divorced, you lose your kids, you lose your wife, you lose your money, you lose your house, and then we're wondering why these men over 40 are self-deleting.
But you know what? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because who gives a darn, right? Just like this boy
Right.
said, who gives a darn? Because these are just men. I mean, we'll have other ones later. You know, this one goes, we'll have another one coming, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just
Right.
just the idiocracy in this gynocentric country that we live in, the laws, the family courts, everything is just so. And this is why I feel really bad, especially for Gen Z boys coming up right now, because they will never experience the good days where women were women and men were men. They will
Absolutely.
never know what that was.
Absolutely.
They're growing up with Z's and Zers and confusion, and men are women and everybody is the same. This is
Right.
what they're growing up with. I feel so bad for them because at least I'm like right on the cusp of the beginning of Gen Z and end of millennials. I'm right on the cusp. I at least got a chance to experience Lion King. You know, things were normal, when it didn't matter because we were looking at cartoons. We were looking at cartoons and it didn't matter with the color or the gender at that time. They'll never experience that.
Right. Yeah, no, 100%. Absolutely. And then the cartoons are even becoming woke, but that's a whole other conversation.
Oh, you know what? Next time we do another reaction, we're gonna have to react to some new woke cartoons. How
That's
about
actually
that?
pretty good. Yeah, we'll
That is
definitely
a
do
great
that.
idea.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's run this guy
When
again.
you work a construction job and then you get hurt, well, no one really wants to help you anymore. Your family's gonna fucking leave you because you're not bringing in money, and it's just like there's no incentive to do that. That being said, I believe there's a really strong evolutionary drive to find a partner and find someone to be with, even for men. And I don't personally find, even despite the risks, that foregoing that for much longer
That's so
is
sad.
something I can really deal with. And maybe the fact that other men have gone through that gauntlet for a long time and they've learned their lesson, that's just visually in their mind that they don't want to do that. I do find that I learn a lot better from a bad lesson than being told something's bad for me. Like if I actually do something and it
That's
doesn't work out,
typical.
then it's ingrained in my brain in a way that, you know, you can't learn for any other way. That being said, I don't think it's a mistake for everybody to get into a relationship, despite the fact how the laws are set up with marriages and divorce. I definitely have no intention of ever getting married and hopefully not having kids, at least in the near future, if
Oh
not ever.
no.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? So
Yeah.
he's already, because of what he's seen, he's already set his mind that he doesn't plan on getting married, John.
Yeah, he's already gave up. He already threw in the white towel. That's it. He already gave up. And
At such a young age.
yeah, and you see, my personal opinion, and I truly believe this. I believe that young men like this, the reason why they have such a downside or the look down within themselves is because they never had a strong male role model to teach them how to be men. So if you have a 50%, if you have a 50% divorce rate, that means you have 50% of kids growing up in single mother homes. If they have 90% custody, then they see their fathers every other weekend or whatever the case may be, right? And then on top of that, then you have the ones that are still married. How many are married to weak men? There's a lot of weak men out there, right? Where they're just kind of they're not. All right. So what I mean by weak is just how to be a little bit of rough and tumble. Okay. So, for example, if I was a kid and I got bullied in school, I was more afraid of my father and my mother than the kid in school.
Right.
So
you are so right. If you
so
go home and tell your parents I got bullied and you're crying, they're gonna send you back outside.
That's right.
Either you get in a fight with them or I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah, that's right. 100%. And I was so scared to face my parents that I'd rather fight the kid, right? Even though the kid, whatever the kid. And here's I'm gonna go. And so then what's happening now is if you're being bullied, you tell the teacher, and the teacher calls the parents, and so on and so forth. And bullying is no good, and it's just unbelievable. So you never really have to stand up for yourself, right? So these little things, bullying is natural. All right, I don't know if a lot of people realize that, but bullying is natural. Bullying is
Very much so.
bullying is a way. I'm not saying that it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing.
I believe it is a good thing.
It is
I'm gonna go out there. I'm
yeah.
gonna go out there and say yes.
It's a good thing in certain aspects, which is I'll explain now. In primitive time, when you had a village and you had a community, and you wanted to either be raised in that community or be part of the community, you had to be tough, because there were other villages, other communities that were trying to come in, steal your food, kill you, rape your women, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. And if you did not protect yourself and you did not protect your women and your children and the things that you worked hard for, like, food, crops, so on and so forth, then you would lose them. Bullying is a way to see if you are tough enough or man enough to act a certain way in order to be part of a community. It's
Well,
still
also in children, the bullying process also creates the hierarchies. It also lets the
Absolutely,
other
yes.
children know where they stand.
That's
That's
right.
why I say it is a good thing to be bullied,
Yes.
because you learn where you stand and you learn what you're good at. Just like one comedian was talking about it, and he said, one time I thought I was the biggest and the baddest, and I was, until a kid from another school came to our school as a new kid, and he showed me that he was the biggest and the baddest, and then I found out that I'm actually good at math.
Yeah. No, it's the truth. It really is. It's funny, but it's true. It happens still today. If you want to be part of if you're growing up in the inner city and you want to be part of the Bloods or the Crips, you think they just let you in? No, there is a hazing phase. Same thing with biker clubs. If you want to be part of a Hell's Angels or the Pagans or a 1% crew, there is a hazing phase. You have to be a certain type of man. They're not going to let you in. You have to be able to hold your own.
You're going to be tested.
Right.
One thing, Uncle John,
Go ahead.
quickly. Do you see on the right side that you have your comments going?
Yeah.
I want you to click on one of them.
Which one?
Whichever one you like.
Okay.
Not the bot, though.
I'll click flip it. All right. This one. Okay.
There you go.
I've always said that young men do not have the first, second, or third choice. As men, we got to get ourselves together before we are competitive in the dating market. That is very true. Yeah, there's no question about it.
I agree.
Definitely. Oh, okay. Thank you for showing me that. This is all new to me. Okay. So, right. So bullying basically is natural, and it starts off, like you said, as children, right? So so that's the first. So okay, so if you have no man, if you have no husband, no father figure, or you have a weak father figure, then the mothers step in, and the mothers, what are they going to do?
Even worse.
Yeah, the mothers step in, and what are they going to do? They're going to go to the school. They're going to talk to the parents, or they're going to there's and this happened several times to friends of mine and so on and so forth, where I've had, a friend of mine, his name is Joe. I grew up with him. He was getting bullied, and he ran inside, and his father grabbed him by the hair and dragged him outside and put him in front of the kid and stood there and said, "Now you fight him. Get
it done." Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And they had a fist fight. And don't get me wrong, like but what I'm saying is that's what boys do.
But wasn't that the amazing part of growing up?
Yes.
It's like those lessons, we remember them, and when we get older, the same thing happens to so many kids, even my family. The same exact thing that you said happened. I already knew where you were going with it, because it happened in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen to the girls, but to the boys,
right.
It happened like that. The girls, we were taught to handle it a different way, handle girls the other way.
Right.
And if we did have to actually physically fight, the girls, our mothers taught us, then do it.
Yeah.
But for the boys, it was so much more strict. The boys, it was so violent how my uncles used to rough their sons up and take them outside because they were scared. They wouldn't go outside because they were scared of the bullies.
Right.
My uncles would take his sons up, like he would just snatch them up so violently, and I'm like,
yeah.
But that made them know that if you don't deal with the kid, you're going to deal with me.
Right. And then inevitably, absolutely. And then inevitably, what happens when that kid stands up for himself? The other kid respects him, and you actually have friends, right? Every time I got into a fight as a kid, whether I started it or the other person started it, there was as soon as you stand up for yourself, there is instant respect. That happens with men. I don't know if it really happens with women too much, but
No, there's women that we end up fist fighting and end
Yeah.
up being best friends after,
Oh,
because
okay.
there is that respect factor. I think that's a human thing. Like, you actually stood up to me, you didn't run. But
Right.
if you run, they're never going to respect you ever.
Right,
You're
exactly.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 100%. And
I have a question for you.
shoot, go ahead, shoot.
Do you think this kid that we're looking at right here, do you think that he ever had to face his bullies?
No, he is a product. He is a product of what it's like to be Gen Z or the millennials, where the mom step in, or he had a weak dad, or everybody gets a trophy. And this is a product because, listen, I had friends growing up. I had one friend, this guy Dom, growing up. He was as dumb as a box of rocks, man. And he wasn't really good looking. And he was like one of the best guys out of the bunch when it came to girls. And it wasn't about your looks or being smart. It was about kind of how you carried yourself. And he had that confidence. He had that way about him. And he didn't care if a girl didn't like him. He went and talked to another girl. And that inevitably makes girls like you, because you actually have choices. You know, you have the ability to be selective. And a lot of these young guys don't realize that. And if men would just raise their kids a little harder and a little tougher, and just say, give them the chance to be men, to go out and play baseball and have fist fights and go talk to the girls. But the problem is
dirty
get dirty and go. That same friend, that guy Dom, right? He used to tell me, this is what he used to tell me. He used to go to the nightclub. We were young, right? And in our early 20s. And he used to go, dude, meeting girls is like going to war. And I used to be like, what? He goes, you don't have to be very accurate. You drop enough bombs and sooner or later you're going to hit a target.
Oh my God. I do not like men anymore. I'm done. I'm done with you all.
But what I'm saying is, his attitude basically was, if that one girl doesn't like me, I don't care. I'm going over to the next girl.
Right.
Where these kids today are grown up so delicately that if the girl that they don't like doesn't like them,
rejection, one time. And that's also okay, we got to get back to the video, but this is also a thing of like every kid getting a trophy too, because you get rewarded for nothing.
Yeah.
So then when you finally get a situation where you get rejection, you just can't handle it, because you've never been rejected. You've never been told you're not good enough, because you got a trophy for showing up at school.
Yeah. When men have to get used to being rejected. They have to. That's why sports is so important. So what I mean by that, let's say a kid plays baseball, right? I mean, if you bat 300, that means you're going to get a hit every 3 out of 10 times. So, but the majority of the times you're going to strike out. And that's the process of dealing with rejection. And with girls is, you're going to, if you stay home and basically you're just on video games and smoking weed and doing nothing, you become socially awkward and you don't know how to speak to women. And you have to build up a callus when you get rejected, and it has to start young.
Mm-hmm.
It has to start young, because when I was in like middle school, junior high school, and I approached the girl, I would feel terrible if I was rejected, but I was, 13, 14, 12 years old, whatever I was, right? But by the time I was 21, 22, I didn't give a shit if a girl rejected me or not, right? If I went to talk to her. And then it got to the point where I would just keep talking, even if I knew she wasn't interested afterwards. You know what I mean? Like she's like, oh no, I have a boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, that's all right. You want to drink anyway? Let's do a shot. And it would just be that it didn't bother me anymore, and that's what these young guys are missing today. It's just, they're missing this idea of how to be a man, and that little bit of masculinity that people consider toxic, like fist fighting, womanizing, drinking, gambling, all that, being a little rough around the edges and so on and so forth.
That creates great men.
It does. And guess what? That's what women are attracted to.
Yeah. Let's get back into it. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
All right.
This doesn't seem appealing to me right now, but I do want a relationship. And it's despite this, I've wanted this for like decades now, and it's something that's largely eluded me. I've had periods of time where I've like had a lot of attraction from women to me. And it kind of shows on like my old Facebook memories, and I can see like, you know, girls being not subtle about being into me. And it's just like at that time it was basically irrelevant because I didn't have my own place. I didn't have a good source of income.
He's probably lived with
My
his
mom was
mom.
very strict. And it's just like you just don't have the resources to do any of that. And if someone had told me growing up that instead of just like, oh, you should get a job so you can fucking get a place and live a good life, but like if people like told me like, oh, you know, you should take care of yourself and do these things and go out and do stuff, because then, you know, women are actually going to want to be around you and like you, I probably would have been a lot more receptive to that.
The missing father, just like you said.
Yeah, pause it right there, please.
And the things that I did do, my friends basically.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Nobody told him how to be a man.
That's what he said. Yeah.
And this is the problem with today's youth is that men aren't teaching, either men are absent or men are weak, and they're not teaching their sons how to. My father used to tell me from the day he goes, you got to be able to make money. You got to make money. You got to make money. You got to be able to make money. And then he would, you know, those, and there were other things he would teach me as to how to be a man. You know, and if you're
even
not,
the chat said it. Look, Flip Art said exactly. He said he said it. You see?
Yeah.
Even the chat noticed it because we had just brought it up right before he even said it.
That's right.
You completely called it out. Oh, another thing about this guy is that you were speaking about the fathers, and I wanted to argue that I think it's worse to have a father that's present and weak than to have one that's not there.
Yes. And here is you want to know a woman's worst nightmare?
Let me hear.
Yeah, this is great. When that woman is dominant and she has a weak husband, and then she has a boy.
Oh no.
And then that boy grows up to be weak. And what does he marry? The woman that's exactly like his mother, and they fucking hate
fight.
each other.
Oh,
but
that's the worst mother-in-law.
Fight. They hate each other because how do you treat my baby boy that way? But that's the blueprint you gave him to life.
You made him that way.
That's right.
Made it easy for me to do this to him.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yep. Let's continue.
Go ahead.
They just dragged me along too, and it's just like I was never really too into them. And also, I guess I didn't have a whole lot of good support, so I was like I was very prone to giving up right away when I was younger. So yeah, I never really got with a few exceptions, but like very brief times, I've never really had a real relationship other than a long distance one that, and I've had a few brief sexual partners over the years, but it feels like I've really never had a true intimate relationship with somebody. And as I get older, it's like sinking in that, well, you know, I'm definitely not an alpha male because I don't know. It's like as a male, you try to do all these things for years and years and years. And it's like, no matter how much self-improvement you fucking do, no one's ever going to fucking like come up to you and actually talk to you. You actually have to go out and deal with this like
right here
fucking paralyzing fear of rejection. And I saw Jordan Peterson do a video basically on this about something that, you know, women don't understand about men is that like
You want to say something? Because I see you adjusted.
Yeah, absolutely. That, you know, that's he has a fear of rejection because he never had to face anything.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I remember you know, my father was hard. You know, my father was a hard man. I'm a little softer than he is probably. You know, I think every generation gets a little softer.
Oh yeah.
I never saw my father cry. I never saw my father get emotional or anything like that. Not at all. He was as hard as rock. He was, you know. But I remember there was this girl that I liked, and she didn't like me, and I was upset. And he just looked at me and he goes, "Get real, would you? Jesus Christ, move on." You know, and I was a young kid. You know, I was young. You know, and that's basically it. Like nobody as a man, women as a man, you have to be the one to approach. Women aren't going to approach you. You know, you have to be the one to approach, and you have to get used to rejection. That's it. Period. End of story. That's how it is set up between men and women, and because men are brought up to be weak and women are brought up to be, dominant, things are getting crossed, and
The
but
stress is, it looks like it's just taking, it's eating him away, that stress of realizing that this is what he's going to have to do, that he's going to
yeah,
have to be the aggressor. He doesn't look like
right.
he wants to. He wants it to be easy.
Yeah, and then guys like this, inevitably, what happens, unless they have a serious change. I'm glad he's listening to Jordan Peterson, because that's one of the guys you definitely should listen to if you're a young man. Guys like this, what happens is they are targeted by manipulative women, because the more dominant and more manipulative a woman is, the weaker a man he wants, and then he is
Very
going.
much
He was
so.
going. He was going. He is going to believe that that is all he could get, and that's all he deserves.
Women, there's women out there right now looking at this video, doing like this with their hands, like, oh yes,
yeah.
oh
I
yes,
mean,
just what I want.
I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. I mean, I have a cousin that married a guy that I don't even know if he's breathing or not. I'm not even kidding. Like, he doesn't say a word, and she literally tells him what to do and bosses him around. And if I didn't know that they were married, you wouldn't know that they were a couple. If they're in the same room, they're not even talking to each other. She
Oh
doesn't
my
even like,
God.
oh yeah, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. It's just,
Most women are stuck to their men when they're out. Most
yeah.
women are like stuck on their man's arm.
Well, yeah, if a woman is with a man that she considers valuable, yes, she makes sure that every woman knows that this is my man.
Right.
But
let me rub my perfume on him. Let me let everybody know.
But when a woman has a weak man, she's literally like,
yeah, I don't care. Even if he flirts with other girls, I don't care.
well, she knows he's not going to.
Well, the thing is, she knows that nothing is going to how can I say this? What is the word? It's gonna I can't find the word.
Nobody's
my English
good.
Guys,
Nobody,
forgive me, my English is messed up, huh?
Yeah, she knows that no other woman wants him.
No, that her position is safe. What is
that
called?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
100%.
That no one is going to not,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
you're just saying. Guys, 100%. English is my third language, so please forgive me. I lose my words.
I don't think anybody has a problem and you speak English fine, so don't worry about it.
Thank you
really
so much.
do not want to get rejected by women, because it's fucking horrible. And I see all these women all the time who are always insecure about their looks or insecure about like all these things, and yet they constantly have sexual partners. They constantly have guys that are fawning over them, and it's like, oh, I'm not beautiful enough, or oh, I'm slightly too heavy, and it's just like, dude, you've had over 20 sexual partners. It's fucking ridiculous.
Wait, I want to speak on this really quickly, because he's speaking about women and speaking about how, beautiful women and so on. And I consider myself a part of the beautiful women club.
You are, clearly.
Slightly. I have membership there, so
Yes, you do.
No, but when it comes to that, when he's speaking about women being fawned over, or having men trying to take them to bed, it's not the same, because listen, a woman, when we get dressed in the morning, let's say it's the morning time, we just got out of the shower.
Amira, give me 1 second. Keep it going. I'll be right back. All right.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
I'll talk to the audience. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome over to the dark side. I'm Amira, here as your tour guide. Anyway, but when a woman gets dressed in the morning, guys, we don't get dressed for men. We get dressed for other women. And I think a lot of men don't know that. A lot of men have no idea what the mentality of most women is. And men thinking, okay, I'm making her feel good by calling her beautiful. Oh, so she's trying to dress sexy for me. No, she's not. The majority of times, she's not. Yes, there are women who do that, but the majority of us are competing. This is a competition. That's why you see mothers and daughters, they sometimes clash, because sometimes the mother is jealous of the daughter because the daughter looks like what she used to look like. This is real life for women. It's such a vicious world. It's such a vicious world because we are always competing. Every woman that we see out there, we're competing.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I just caught the tail end, but yeah, you're right. Absolutely, women are always competing. That's why they want to look better. That's why they.
We're not dressing for you guys. We're dressing to compete.
That's 100%. Absolutely. That's why women put so much, their new bag online, their new car online, what restaurant they're at online, and he's basically thinking like a dude, like, oh, this girl hooks up so much, but no, bro,
They don't
that
see it that way.
no,
Women don't look at it that way.
yeah, no, that's how men are valuable if they're able to hook up with a lot of women. Women aren't.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
opposite.
not the same.
Yeah, this
Flip
guy.
art. Flip art, yes. This is
Yeah,
a
flip
SMR
art.
video. This is an SMR video. Hello. Welcome to the dark side.
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys. Oh, I just had to address that. Thanks.
This whole reality, like I could imagine if they had gone through like what I've been through, where it's like, hey, you really want to know what it's like to not have anyone care about you? Go for like 7 years where you have absolutely zero affection from anyone whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I basically this just triggered this in me today because I saw this thing on Facebook that my friend posted. And she's an all right person, and we used to be really close, and it's not really relevant to that. But I'm not like bashing her or anything. But she had posted something today that I thought was kind of silly, where it's like here's what it says. I'm in a relationship with someone who makes me laugh like crazy, reassures me that I'm loved even in hard situations, continues and puts forth effort for me every day, and is my best friend in the world. It's crazy how I ever believed that anything less was good enough.
You cannot compare. You cannot compare your life to a post online, because so many people lie about their relationships online.
Yeah. I mean,
they make it seem like their relationship is amazing when in fact, you know what I mean?
My cousin that I told you about, when you look at the pictures of him, her, and her husband online, you think they have the greatest relationship in the world. It's his birthday. Oh my, and she'll say something like that. Like, he makes me laugh, and he's the apple of my eye. He's my everything. And then and then you see them in person, and it's like, first of all, it's just ridiculous.
This kid judging life and judging another girl that he sees based on her post on whatever Facebook or whatever she posted on, that's just absurdity. And this speaks on his mentality too, like his maturity, because a mature person would know that you can't gauge what's happening in that relationship by those posts.
Yeah, look at what Flipant just said. This is exactly what I was about to say. This guy needs to stay off the internet and a little while and go outside.
Agree.
It's 100%
I completely agree.
This guy needs some male camaraderie. He needs to either do some MMA, join an arm wrestling club, do some bodybuilding, do some powerlifting. I mean, anything. Go fishing, go hunting, go boating, any kind. That's what he needs, because when he has male camaraderie, he'll be able to socialize better, and he'll make some friends. He won't feel so bad. Women aren't your friends.
Nope.
Women are not your friends. Okay,
they can't be.
Because you're just gonna want to have sex with them. So don't even the ugly ones. All right.
Yeah.
Every girl I was friends with, even the ugly ones, I've wanted to have sex with. So it doesn't work.
Those desperate nights come, right?
You need a contrast like that as a male. Like, let's see, no one gives a fuck about me. Even if I do stuff, no one's going to give a fuck about me. If I do find someone who's going to like want to be in a relationship with me, they're probably going to be mentally abusive to me. Like the last person I tried to date was, and even if when I wouldn't go for that, she instantly found someone like right after that who's willing to put up with it, and it's just like you just get treated like fucking shit. I can't even imagine like a fucking being in a relationship with a woman who like treats me right, and like I know that there would be women who would do that, but they're with other men, or they're with other men because they're actually like good women. Like if you have like a decent personality and you aren't hideously ugly, you will find someone as a woman. In fact, you don't even have to find someone; they will find you.
100%.
And I just think people insist like women live in this like fucking world where, because society loves and cares about them because they're specifically women, and then on top of this, they think that they have like some unique sense of oppression where there's a 20-to-1 workplace death gap where men are dying at 20 times the rate. Men are
feminism. Here he goes.
That's right.
Men make up over 90% of the prisoners. They're 3.5 times more likely to die of homicide, and because
he knows his stats.
That's involved in some of these things. It's basically like, oh well, men are causing their own problems, so we don't give a fuck about them, and that's assuming they even fucking acknowledge it, because when people talk about like the Violence Against Women Act, it's like acted like women are like the main fucking victims of violence, where they're absolutely fucking not. And I'm not
Oh
saying
my
that that's
God,
a
he
good thing that, like,
knows.
That's right.
when women are victims of violence, but you know, if we're gonna talk about it, you should talk about the main victims at the very fucking least if you're going to have the conversation.
That's right. He's
But
100% right.
you know, it just bothers me. Like, no one really gives a fuck. And the only way anyone's ever going to give a fuck about me is if I like go through the effort and deal with all these mental demons. And you know, who knows whenever that's going to fucking be done.
Well, you got to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it just kind of sucks because, you know, you're told all the time that men have all this privilege because, you know, there's a few men who have trampled over the rest of us and gotten to the top. You know, when people talk about gender imbalances, they're all like, oh, well, Robert Downey Jr. makes $10 million more than fucking Jennifer Lawrence or something. I'm using that as an arbitrary example. And it's not like,
I've heard
you know, when
feminists do
people
that.
don't want to talk about gender equality. They're not like, oh, men are killing themselves at 4 times the rate of women. And that's like a global, or that's like a societal over the entirety of society.
Yeah, that he's 100. That's exactly right. It's between 3. It's about 3.5%. He's right. He's absolutely right. Yep.
And he knows. And the crazy part is that he's not just one of those guys like those, you know, they call them incels. He's not just one of those. He knows the actual stats and he knows the issue. It's just that he doesn't know where to start to actually get fixed, to fix himself. Because you can tell he said, well, whenever I get these mental demons taken care of and all of this. So he understands the issue. He just doesn't know where to start.
He doesn't know where to go for help. And what he I don't listen. I'm not an expert. I don't know. I don't know if it's too late. Because you know, boys at a young age, they need a strong role model. You know, I mean, you know, if you need to be able, because in order to advance in life and do better with a career or take chances and go on and meet a woman and have a family, you have to ignore all these stats. You can't be, my God, the tables are everything's stacked against me. You can't have that attitude. Otherwise you wind up like this. You got to be able to just say, oh, fuck it. Who cares? And it's a risk taking, and risk taking is part of being masculine. And if you're emasculating men at such a young age, well, then that risk taking, meeting a girl, starting a business, going for the promotion, standing up for yourself, whatever the case may be, is going to be little to none. And we're seeing.
They know the chat is saying that, you know, Flip Ant is saying he should start by lifting weights.
Absolutely.
And go to the gym.
Yeah.
Jack says he needs to start by making friends or go airsofting.
Or airsoft. I don't know what airsofting is. I don't know. It might be a typo. But no, I said it before. This kid needs to have a airsofting without a shirt. I don't know what the fuck that
is.
Okay. He needs to do some things where he has some male camaraderie stuff. Look, me and my two brothers, like, I'm a gym head, so I have a bunch of friends in the gym. My one brother is a biker guy. He's been in biker clubs forever. My other brother loves to hunt, and he has a group of friends that they go hunting. He hunts birds. I don't know why, but whatever. That's what he does. But he has a group of friends that go hunt, and they have this male camaraderie, and that's the first thing you have to do to get out of depression. You have to have male camaraderie, and you have to have structure, and you have to have some kind of meaning, a job where you get up and go and do something every day. And if
the thing is, you know, the chat is saying that if he even got friends, that his friends would be just like him, which would be the problem. That would be more of a problem because you end up being with people who like to do what you like to do, which is play games and play video games. And then you're going to meet more people that like video games, and you're going to be more of an incel. So
absolutely. Yeah,
so
you gotta. You can't hang out with the guys playing Nintendo, whatever the hell the kids play today. You gotta do things, manly things, testosterone-driven things, MMA, arm wrestling,
competition.
That's right, exactly. Powerlifting, bodybuilding, lifting weights, riding bikes, motorcycles. Whatever it is, something that is very masculine, testosterone-driven. And the truth of the matter is, he will like it. I guarantee you, hanging out with the guys.
It's instinct.
When I go to work, half of the fun of work is hanging out with the guys. It really is.
You're like, I go to work to hang out with the guys. I'm not there to work. I'm not there to get stuff done.
If you, Amira, you have to see what we do to each other at work. It's we verbally it's, but we all get along, but it's so
complete masochism. We just destroy each other.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Today, I'll tell you what happened today quickly, right? We're waiting in the morning. We're waiting. I'm a sewer worker, right?
Yeah.
So we're waiting for the supervisor. We're waiting to see what we got to do for the day because they change the jobs every day. But anyway,
okay.
One guy made a joke about this guy Joe. He said something about his grandmother. It was a joke. And the guy Joe goes, "My grandmother's dead." And then I just went, "Oh, poor baby, your grandmother's dead."
Oh my gosh, such assholes.
Yeah, I say, "Are we supposed to feel bad now?" Yeah. and which is this is, and it's constant. It's constant. And but that's how men bond. And if this kid doesn't have men like that, a guy friends like that in his life, he's just never going to assimilate.
It toughens you up and teaches you how to laugh about things. I think that's what matters.
That's
wealthy person making X amount more money than another wealthy person, and people don't understand that. And I get annoyed by all these women who always feel ugly or feel insecure despite infinite guys wanting to fuck them and be with them. When someone like me,
God.
like I'll have like literally no fucking female attention.
She has to stop comparing women to men.
Yeah.
Insane effort. And the only time I ever had a good amount of female attention was like for a brief time in my early 20s, where I was actually like talking to girls regularly, and then like, oh, girls see with other girls, and then they get into you too, and it's like, but I didn't really get anything out of it. And I mean, when I say didn't get anything out of it, I didn't get any long-term relationships. I didn't even get any short-term relationships. I got very little sex, and mostly not from any of those girls actually that were into me. I could have, had I had money to go, visit some of them who live farther away, or just see the other ones that are closer on a regular basis. But considering I fucking had some shitty job that barely paid me enough, but yeah, I'm
pause it right there.
That's where I am in life right now. Is I'm.
All right, here's a shocker. Okay, this is something every guy. I don't think I'm an ugly guy. Okay, I am married, but other girls don't know that. Right? I am married, but when I'm out, girls don't know that. I don't think I'm an ugly guy. I don't think I'm John Stamos, but I don't think I'm an ugly guy.
You look like Vin Diesel.
That's right. Everybody says, "Look, I am in shape. I make well over 6 figures." Okay, we drive nice cars. I actually just bought a motorcycle, so on and so forth. I never get approached by women. I don't get any female attention, period. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, because women aren't going to do that.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, my wife barely gives me attention, for Christ's sake. I mean,
I know what you mean.
It's the truth. It's like, dude, like, I got my shit together, and women are not throwing themselves at me. It's just all right, go ahead.
Well, let me be honest with you. Us as women, we're more afraid of rejection than anyone, because we as women, we're not used to being rejected that much.
Oh, you're not built for it. Oh my God, definitely.
Well, and another thing is that we don't want to look like we're too desperate, because a woman coming up to a man, it looks too desperate. It's like, what's wrong with her that she doesn't have men approaching her, that she has to go, So it looks bad for us, and we also look kind of like hoes if we actually try to, It's just so many things. And the thing is, a woman that might actually really want to come talk to you, or really want to be the one to speak, but because of the pressure to be virginal, be quiet, be submissive, be dainty, wait for your turn, wait for the man to, these are the things that just don't do. So never should a man think that he is worthless, or he doesn't look good, or he's not, attractive, just because women aren't coming up to him, because that's just, you have to understand that that's how it's going to be.
That's it. I listen, it look, 70-80% of men just don't know how women operate. Like this, they just don't. They don't.
Look at Flip and
what do they say? You're ugly, but in a cute way, John. Oh, thanks.
Like a hairless cat.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm a hairless cat. Let's put that up. I'm ugly, but I'm gonna flip. Oh, thanks a lot. Okay.
No, it's the hairless cat comment.
Yeah, that's great. It's like
because then when I look back at you, I was like, actually, I can get.
Yeah, and he's right. I shave everything I manscape, and my wife shaves my back for me. So he's right. I am like a hairless cat.
I actually look back at you like, actually.
Yeah, I'm a
actually.
Mexican. I'm a Mexican hairless.
Oh my
God.
god, that was good.
Yeah,
Oh, that was really good. I needed that laugh.
Well, that's KB. That's the guy who edits my videos for me. We've been
really?
friends for what, almost 2 years now. You know, so he's always
Yeah, he
ripping my
really
balls.
likes you. I can tell. He's really,
Yeah, he's good. He's a good.
really
dude. But-
feeling you. Speaking.
all right, so where were we? I don't
Okay,
remember.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
we don't know how we don't know. This guy just does not know how women operate, and I see the majority of men don't know how women operate.
I agree.
Trying to find. I wouldn't even say trying to find, because I don't even feel like I'm in a state where I could be in a relationship right now, and God forbid, knows I fucking want to, because it's like I have a low amount of time off at work, so at the very earliest it would be next year, and I still have to finish restoring my foreskin, and I'm apprehensive
Wait,
about
what?
going through the awkwardness.
What was that?
of
Wait,
having
let
that
me go back for a
conversation
second.
again.
What did he say?
A low amount of time off at work, so at the very earliest it would be next year, and I still have to finish restoring my foreskin, and I'm just
Restoring my
threw that
foreskin.
out.
about
like
going through
nothing.
the awkwardness
He just
of
threw
having
it.
that conversation.
What the hell does that
again.
mean? Restoring my foreskin.
He just said that as if he was like, and it's been sunny for the past week. And he's restoring my foreskin.
Right. I really wish he was. Yeah, I wish he was live with us. Dude, explain. What does that mean? Restore your foreskin. What is he like?
That requires some description, and he just went right past it. He's just like, that's a normal thing that everybody does. That's a typical Wednesday. Restore my foreskin, every Wednesday. Don't miss that appointment. The wife's gonna be mad.
Yeah. My foreskin. Holy shit. All right.
Even though that's going well, I know it's still going to be another 2 or 3 years at least.
At least it's going well.
It has been going better lately, and I believe I'm finally a CI4, but it's
whatever that is.
I don't know. It's just frustrating, and I can't even, it's been so long. Besides my one long distance relationship, it's been so long without me being in a relationship, and I almost got into one in 2016, but it was just a matter of the girl was being so utterly toxic towards me.
Well, there's a reason for that.
And we said that before. Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're gonna expect.
I don't know if that would have subsided after a while. Maybe it would have. My other friend told me that, and I was like, yeah, I didn't really think of that, but
the first thing this guy has to do, he's got to learn how to groom himself a little bit. He's got to learn how to groom himself a little bit. He's got to get a haircut. He's got to shave that almost mustache on top. Get rid of that. Almost money. You got to spend a little bit of money on clothes. You got to buy some cologne. You got to kind of look. You got to be a little bit presentable. That's the first thing you got to do.
He could be attractive. I can see the attractiveness in him. He could be attractive.
But you got to try. You know what I mean? I have friends that were fat and wore nice clothes and always wore Jordans and always had jewelry, and it was and
always a fresh haircut, and it doesn't matter you're fat.
That's right. Always. I think it's I don't know. The eyebrows. He's got to thin out the he needs he needs a makeover or some shit.
Yeah, he looks unkempt,
super manipulative, and I don't know. It's
like we were saying before,
but so I'm trying to think about getting into a relationship or start dating or trying to date next year, but it's
you don't need to date.
I can't even imagine
yet.
What it's like to fucking be in a decent relationship, and that it's all these other people are just moving on with their lives or moving on to they have lots of money, and it's the people I'm competing with now. I've always wanted to do this, but it's in high school, I wasn't the first one to ever get a car. I wasn't the first one to ever get a part-time job. I wasn't the ones dating in elementary and middle school. And now that I have my own place, I have a little bit of extra money on the side. I have a full-time job that I've been at for 3 years. It's now I'm competing against people who are making 6 figures.
You can't keep looking at other people and judging where you need to be. He's looking at women. He's looking at men that are making 6 figures. He's looking at all these people. And these men are probably in their 30s. They've been through this. So the thing is, he's probably just a late bloomer.
Yeah. No, because he
bloomer.
didn't have any guidance. And by the time they figure it out, I'd love to know how old he is. And I would love to know what he does for a living.
I think he looks like around 26.
Yeah, he's probably in his late 20s.
Yep.
I would love to know what he does for a living. But listen, man, Nobody's making six figures at 26. It takes time before you start really making money if you have a skill and a career. It takes time. The majority of guys that make over six figures are over 35 years old.
Yeah.
It takes
Did
some
you
time.
did you hear about what Kevin Samuels points out all the time? Like, I don't know if you watch him very often, but Kevin
Good.
Samuels spoke about how men want to just jump from high school to CEO. They don't want to go through that process that every man has to go through by being a new person in the job, being a
Mhm.
junior, then moving up to, management and upper management, and then up to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Being the boss, or being a hiring managers and stuff like that. They don't want to go through that, because the internet exists, and the internet is going to show that you went through this time where you worked at McDonald's, or you did something that wasn't glamorous, and God forbid the world sees that you did something that's not glamorous, because everybody online is a millionaire, and
Yeah.
assuming that we actually believe what everybody's putting out there
Right.
online. Everybody looks like a millionaire, everybody looks like they're balling,
Yeah.
everyone looks like they just got it together
Yeah. And
overnight. So
yeah.
men, you think about his age. So I'm 28, he's 26. So we're about the same age.
Mhm.
And think about, like, for him as a man, he's probably like, I should be there. I should be up here when I'm looking online, but I'm not getting there. And
Mhm.
he doesn't understand that stuff takes so much time.
It does. And I remember being in my mid to late 20s and feeling the same way. It wasn't as devastating as this kid, because I had guidance and I had a father and I had brothers and I had a
Mm,
skill. But I remember saying to myself, I need, when am I going to make more money? And I would try to hustle, and I would try to do side work and so on and so forth. And I remember being like that and being like, my friends are making money or so on and so forth. I remember we're talking like I'm 45, right? I'll be 46, but in the late 90s, early 2000s, the stock market boom was huge. It was the stock market bubble was huge, and every financial every stockbroker was making a ton of money. You could have been the biggest idiot in the world because every stock was going through the roof. So I had friends that dropped out of college and they would go be a stockbroker and pass their Series 7, and they'd be making six figures overnight. And obviously that didn't last because the bubble broke. But I remember being in
right.
college and becoming like, damn, I'm not making any money and doing this, and I'd be working two jobs and so on and so forth. So I could totally relate. I've been there.
Oh, but you have to
Um,
understand, in your time it was different.
yes,
There was actually work for teenagers, and people valued that work for teenagers. And they saw it like, you worked in McDonald's, it's a teenager job. So
that's
people
right.
are like, oh, it's okay. But today it's not like that for younger people. Like, for us, it's like, when we look online, we have kids that are millionaires because they invented an app, or they
Hmm.
did something that was technological, or they, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And the kids are getting richer younger and younger. There's 14-year-old millionaires. And then you look at yourself here. Here we are in our 20s, and you didn't make it. You're not a millionaire yet. So you feeling down, especially when you look online and Instagram, and everybody's balling and everyone's
Yeah.
driving a Bentley.
And let me let
That
me let me tell you something. And I didn't know this until, and you could attest to this. The YouTube thing, the podcast thing, the
mm,
overnight successes is
mm,
1% of the 1%. The
mm,
majority of them are like me, not even you. You're actually doing well. Where I'm constantly grinding and learning and grinding and learning and so on and so forth and blah blah blah
yeah.
blah. It's just everything takes time. And let's Tabitha put this up here. She said, what he's doing to try and fix his life to accomplish his goals. I wish I knew. As of
Mhm.
right now, it just sounds like he is working and he has found a job and he moved out and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
Um, but
He does
he's
make content online. He does
Oh, he
have a
does.
channel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got to check it out. Yeah. But I have, what
What?
happened? What did he say? Relax. He said he was fixing his foreskin. Oh shit! Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
can't
right.
with this guy. I
Yeah, 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 yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. He's fixing his foreskin. His peck is gonna look fine. Don't worry about it.
That's an all-day process, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. That's pretty funny.
Takes a lot of time and concentration. Stop
Have
it.
had
I
all this experience stating for the past 20 years or whatever. You know, I have friends that I fucking used to play Magic with who are literally millionaires now, and it's like,
Magic. Who is that?
I don't know.
See what I'm saying?
It fucking
So many
sucks.
young millionaires.
And I'm not getting like super emotional over this, but it's like it really is. I mean, I don't feel like I'm being like outwardly so, but it really does. Like it gets exhausting, and it's like, dude, I don't know. I just don't. And I guess again, like it bothers me because like women are always like, oh, where are all the fucking good men? Well, you know, a lot of women don't really even give good dudes a chance, and I understand that
They
there's
don't
like
want good
evolutionary
men.
reasons for that and stuff, but it's one.
They don't want good men. They want good men that are pricks. If you're too good, they don't listen. I hate to say this, Amira,
That
but
is so true.
I hate to say this, but taking dating advice from a woman if you are a guy is the worst.
You do not. Oh my god. Do you know? Okay, so you know I'm on the Leaf Network, right?
Yes,
you know, like the whole dating thing. Do you know how many emails men have sent me? Men have sent me saying, Amira, what can I do about this or about relationships? You know, I'm like, you can talk to me about politics, anything else, but I am not the one to give you as a man information on relationships. I tried to tell men, don't listen to a woman.
That's
we
the
have
truth.
our own selfish needs that we're trying to accomplish.
That's right. No, it is the one. Never listen to a woman when it comes to dating.
Don't.
Never.
She will lead you down. Oh my god, the path of self-destruction is it is so long and hard.
Absolutely. Oh.
No, don't listen to us. That's great advice.
Thing to be like, oh, say this thing doesn't exist, because you're not interested in it. Well, so yeah, I guess like it's just gonna be more working towards trying to improve and trying to be more attractive and actually getting over my fear of actually like being able to like ask a girl out or ask her for a number, and that gets more complicated with shit like Me Too, where it's like everything you do is basically considered harassment. It's like
he's right.
There's no like concrete
Absolutely.
line with like whether I should be more persistent with a girl, because a lot of girls will just like literally tell you no right away, but they want you to what sometimes that will mean
they want you
harder.
to
There's
try
no,
again.
like, concrete line. I'm not even talking about something like touching a girl unwantedly here, which is something I would never fucking do, unless like by unwanted I mean there's times where it's like, and this is something that like feminism doesn't understand in our current societal thinking of this, is like, you know, sometimes there's like implied consent, like it's like, and if someone stops something at some point, you know, you escalate a little bit, and then like if someone's uncomfortable with that, they can fucking say so. And I've seen girls do this to me, and vice versa. But it's only a bad thing when men do it. It's only a fucking horrible thing. You're only a fucking aggressive jackass when a male does it. If a girl comes up to me in high school and fucking hits me in the balls over some stupid joke, it's not even sexual assault. Even if you do it in front of a teacher,
problem.
That's the truth. But, nobody cares. That's right.
Nobody making out with a girl and you like, put your hand somewhere and it's like, oh, well, she didn't expressly consent to that. It's just stupid shit like that. And it's, again, I don't fucking know. Like I'm trying to be a good dude, and I don't even know. I don't even think that's like the play anymore, because it's clearly not fucking working. Like,
don't be a good dude.
Doing the same thing over and over.
You need balance. It's
the same results.
You want to be a good dude, but you don't want to be a pushover. So what I mean by that is, look, if I when I used to date, if I took a girl out on a date, I would go out on a date, I would plan the date, I would pick her up, so on and so forth. I would take her out, but then I would go on another date the next night. You know what I mean? Or I wouldn't call her, or if she, if I'd be dating another girl, and they know it. They could tell. Women are so much more better at judging character than men are.
Well, another thing is, I want to share with you this. I used to have a Ukrainian friend, but he used to live in Russia, and he told me, well, he didn't just tell me, I would see it. So we used to all hang out and stuff, and he would bring his friends, like he'd have a girl with him, and he would start fights with her on purpose on the first date.
Well, yeah, that's just...
Well, just because I think he said, like, if she hates me in the beginning, we can only go up. Does that make sense? He's like, it can only get better.
Well,
you know,
I mean, he's got to be a little nutty to do that, but I understand women.
it actually used to work.
No,
It
it
did
does. It
work.
does because women don't like when things are steady. Women respond better when things are up and down, up and down,
Yep,
up and down, up and down.
that's true.
So it is true. So that's why the women that are leaving good men, it's because everything is, he's faithful. I know where he is all the time. He would never do anything to harm you, so on and so forth. Blah 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 blah. He has no vices. I come first. There's nobody else, and all this. And if everything is kind of like this, they're bored. Then their passion is lost, and then they say, "I don't love you anymore." But
they don't feel like you actually love them because it's like you're just so blah. If it's up and down, you're constantly showing, constantly affirming,
That's right.
constantly showing. But when it's just like normal, there's no way to affirm that
That's
I
right.
am. Tabitha is right too. She says women want what they can't have. So
yes, exactly. Yeah.
if you show that you are interested or that you're not interested, then they will want you. It's
Exactly. Yeah. No, it is true. It's 100% true. I mean, that's why men need to have guy time and not stop guy time. So yeah, I'm going out with you tonight, but tomorrow night I play cards with the guys, and that's it. I'm not and then there'll be this infiltration, like, oh well, let's go out Saturday night. No, I play cards on Saturday night. I'm with the guys on Saturday night. Forget it. I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then and it's this is the best part. A girl starts an argument with him. Wait, you ignore her, like she didn't even say anything.
Just go away.
Just don't even.
She'll drive her crazy. She'll be throwing stuff in the house the whole night.
Yeah, it's the truth.
No, my husband's done that to me before, and that's what happened. That I have firsthand experience. So
yeah, it's the truth. I do it to my wife. I
lost my mind.
Yeah, my wife told me not to buy a motorcycle, and I just bought one.
Yep. Did I tell you about my husband? I told him not to buy a Lambo, and he did.
You did, yeah. The last time
I
we
told
spoke,
you.
yes, yeah.
That thing is still sitting in the garage, and the thing is, I told him sell it, and he's like, "No."
No.
And every time I'm outside, he'll go outside and just start waxing it, and I'm like,
But the thing is, if you had a husband, who did everything you told him to do, you wouldn't respect him.
Yeah,
so it's so it's like that's why the old school guys, had that masculine where it was like, you can't go to the bar. I'm going to the bar. You're not playing cards tonight. I'm playing cards tonight. I mean,
I wasn't going to, but now I'm doing it.
But you would just ignore. Like my wife's like, don't buy a motorcycle. They're dangerous. I didn't even ask. I just bought it. I just said I bought it. And then I didn't tell her yet, but I'm gonna buy another one. I am. I went looking the other day. I was like, oh god. I was talking to Flip Ant about it. Actually, I called Flip Ant because he rides, and I actually said to him, if I wanted to buy a second bike, which one would it be? We were talking about it. That's right. Oh god. But anyway.
No way.
Anyways, this kind of went off the rails, and I don't.
Yeah, it did over here too.
I'm just fucking upset, and it's not only the fact that I can't find anyone to date or find someone to at least try to get to know. It's that I don't even feel like I'm in a position to. And it fucking sucks. So
he's making fun of how I talk.
That I don't think.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, because I say it's. I bought a Harley Davidson
about
and this
how
is how
fucking terrible it is to be a woman. And all the terrible things, despite the fact that there's infinite horrible things about being male, especially if you're not in the top 1% of men. I don't think women really appreciate how good some of the things that they do fucking have it, because no one really gives a shit about you if you're fucking male and you're.
All right. Well, he's right about that. Okay.
That's the end of this video.
I'm gonna remove that. There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's right about that. Let me give you some little bit of stats that I looked up before we got on. All the things that people take advantage of in today's society is held up and created by men. So what I mean by that is, so electricity. 87% of electricians are men.
Yeah.
92% of carpenters are men. 75% of masons are men. Heating and air conditioning, 93% of them are men.
I don't
91.
believe these numbers. I really don't believe these numbers. I
Yeah,
think
you
they're
think it's
way
more than that?
higher. I
Yeah,
believe it's higher.
you might be right. 91% of plumbers are men. 86% of infrastructure engineers are men. So bridges, roads, tunnels, right? Sanitation workers, 75% of sanitation workers are men. Where are we? Crane operators, 98% of
Oh,
crane operators are men. Dock
that's a
workers,
dangerous job.
that's right. Dock workers, 87% of dock workers are men. Sewer workers, what I do for a living, 87% of sewer workers are men. And 90% of veterans are men. So protecting the country, your infrastructure, your lights, your
Everything that makes
building
the world go,
is,
essentially.
is basically by men. If men didn't do that job, it just would not. You would not have it, and you wouldn't be able to upkeep it. And
I
it's
always
just
bring up the point about plumbers, construction workers, all these
that's right.
people who you just look past, and the things that we don't even think about. Think about sewage. Every
Yeah,
time a person flushes a toilet, you never think about that again.
yeah.
But if we didn't have men that
It
were
comes
actually
right to
willing,
me.
right,
It
if
does.
we didn't have men, and they make a sharp ton of money,
That's
sharp
the
ton.
truth. It is a shit ton of money. It's the
Because
truth.
imagine these are the men. Look, these are the jobs that no woman would dare to do because no
Mhm.
woman wants to deal with crap all day. Of
It's
course,
just yeah,
and
right.
and just imagining the problems that come with it, like people flushing whites instead of using actual toilet paper and all that
Mhm.
stuff. All that stuff, women don't want to deal with that. And then electricians. And this is why Kevin Samuels brings up a good point that if all the women of the world died today or
That's
tomorrow,
right. Yeah.
men could continue living on like nothing because men are the farmers. They're the ones who make the food. They're the ones who transport the food. They're the ones who make the electricity and
That's right.
keep all those what are they called? The electricity fields. They're the
Oh,
ones who make
the power,
power,
yeah,
right, power plants
power
and stuff.
grids,
They're the
power
ones who
plants,
keep that
power.
stuff going. They're the ones who are
Right.
dealing with the nuclear. They're the ones who are doing the dangerous jobs. They could continue living on. If all the men died tomorrow, women, we would die within days. We would
That's
start
right.
dying within days. Okay.
It's the
But we
truth.
wouldn't fully all die until like a year. But we would start dying in days.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to. By the time you taught women to do those things, keep up the infrastructure
How
and
many
all
people?
these skills. I mean,
Half of us would have been dead by then.
that's right. That's right. In order to become a really good electrician, right? You need a 4-year apprenticeship program, and to really be a good electrician, because I was an electrician for 10 years before I was the sewer worker.
Mm.
To really be a good electrician, you need 10 years under your belt in order to be a really good
Oh my
electrician,
God.
right? So you need 4 years of apprenticeship, and then you need 10 years in the field in order to really be a good electrician. By the time that the old woman would be dead.
Yep, exactly. No, I mean, I think women would start dying almost immediately, but we wouldn't start finishing ourselves off until like a year and a half because, there'll still be some women who are a little bit savvy, who know how to like, eat some
Oh
plants.
yeah, I mean, listen,
But
there's good. Just watch that show Survivor. You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
all you have to do is watch
yeah.
that.
As soon as the cold season comes, we'll be taken out.
Yeah, but
Half of us will go.
every once in a while, there's a badass girl that knows how to do that shit.
Yeah,
But for the most part, it's the men, and everything goes back to primitive times. But
yeah,
listen, it's unfortunate. I don't think it's going to change. I think it's going to get worse,
yeah.
personally.
It's
But
only going to get worse until it gets better.
yeah, at least there are outlets for these young men to come and seek out, with YouTube channels and podcasts and so on and so forth.
If people will listen.
Yeah, and if you ever get somebody that asks you for dating advice, send them my way. Any men like that say, "How do I do?" Just send them my way. Say,
Yeah.
I got a friend that'll help you out.
I
I'd be
because
glad.
I'm tired of turning down men for that because I won't let men think that I am the answer because I'm a female.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no matter how good you think I speak or whatever have you, I'm still a woman. So I'm like, still, you
Absolutely.
should not listen to me for that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And the next thing I wanted to tell you was that I find videos like that often. I'm on every section of YouTube, Uncle John, and I find videos like that often. I'm gonna start bringing more men to the forefront of my channel
Okay.
that are speaking about these issues because I've noticed that men aren't posting these videos about other men.
Mhm.
It's almost like when I posted it, do you know what the men were saying?
No, they rip
Oh,
him apart.
he's weak. Yeah, they were ripping him.
Yeah.
And I had to stop my own audience from doing that. And I'm like, my audience, who I thought were like, who understand, they were even ripping him apart, the men. And I said, men, please, I beg you, take
Yeah.
a moment and hear him out. Do not dismiss him, because I'm going to start bringing more men to the foreskin. I'm going to start bringing. I'm going to start bringing more men to the forefront so that people can see them and they can hear them, because no one's hearing them.
Absolutely. It's God's honest truth. Amira, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for showing me how to do going live. I appreciate it.
I'm not finished teaching you yet. Wait till we hang
Oh,
up.
all right. Good. I really appreciate all of that. It really means a lot to me. It means a lot that you're my friend, and it means a lot to me that you're doing well. And we'll definitely do another one soon. That's for sure.
Sure. I'm down for it. And we can definitely do another reaction.
Oh, yeah, that would definitely be cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question about it. All right. Let me see how I can.
It's up in the right-hand corner.
Where it says.
You'll figure it out. It's a
End
blue
broadcast.
square.
Oh, it says end broadcast?
Yep.